To that story, Greenpeace divers have discovered a kaleidoscope of underwater flora and fauna at the biodiversity haven on the Vema Seamount. The team observed dozens of Tristan Crayfish, a crustacean that has been on the brink of extinction due to overfishing. Activists are excited about the discovery but remain concerned about the amount of abandoned fishing gear polluting the oceans. According to Greenpeace, at least 640,000 tons of ghost gear enters the ocean every year. For more on this, I'm joined by Greenpeace climate and energy campaigner Bukelwa Nzimande. Very good morning to you. Let's first talk about this incredible find and what it means for us.
Very good morning to you. Yeah, it's, I mean, exactly what you're talking about, the discovery of this paradise that is underwater, that was for the longest time. I think when you're looking at seamounts, first of all, a lot of people always ask what those are, but it's literal sea mountains that are coming out of the floor of the oceans, and with depths allowing for different variation of plants and animals to grow and find habitat. So you can imagine that already the ecosystems are rich. There's diversity, there's color. The imagery that you got doesn't even begin to compare with what really exists beyond or under our waters. So it really just highlights that our oceans are full and rich with life and deserve to be protected. And that's one of the reasons why this was such an important expedition for us, to highlight the beauty that our oceans contain, but also why they deserve to be protected because of this exact richness and wildlife and biodiversity.
And wonderful to hear this news, because we've just been plundered by all the negative stories coming out about what's happening in our oceans, the plastic. I mean, the fact that this sort of thing is still happening is very important and necessary.
Absolutely. The devastation is clear. When the IPCC released the special report on our oceans and the cryosphere, which is the frozen parts of our planet, it painted a very dire picture, really, because we found that a lot of the damage that's been done already, some of it cannot be reversed. But at the same time, there is hope in the sense that if action is taken, and that action includes setting specific areas and creating these ocean sanctuaries, specifically around these biodiversity hotspots, and ensuring that our oceans are more resilient, there's definitely much more that could still be achieved. But it requires very immediate action, and ensuring that resilience of our oceans is built, especially considering the role of our oceans in the changing world and in the current climate crisis that we find ourselves in. So it really paints a hope, but that hope has to be followed by clear action. And speaking of that, one of the reasons why this has been really important for us as Greenpeace is we're really wanting to see the research and the findings influence the United Nations processes of negotiating for a robust and strong global oceans treaty that will see areas like this, which are in the high seas, 30% at least, at the very least, protected by the year 2030.
Well, I hope you get your way, and I'm just wondering what onus is on us, the public, those who are diving. I was just quite staggered to hear how much ghost gear enters the oceans every year. How do we stop that?
Absolutely. The stats around ghost gear are absolutely alarming, and a lot of it is because of highly unregulated large-scale industrial fishing activities that are happening in the high seas in particular. And because the high seas are so far removed from us, from the people, it's very hard to then see the rates and the impact. And they're also quite threatened because a lot of this is happening in the high seas, like I mentioned earlier, which are biodiversity hotspots. But it also means that so far that people can really do as they please and as they want. And even if there is a sense of protection, or these areas, pockets of them that are loosely protected, the laws that regulate them are ineffective. They're not being implemented at the scale that they're at. So the pollution that is there really is because of a bigger system that has played itself out through industrial fishing, illegal, unregulated practices. But also the other devastating thing or point about this is fishing gear, once it's lost in our oceans, it will trap marine life for as long as it is in our oceans. So if you imagine fishing gear that was abandoned 10 years ago, if that's not recovered, if that's not found, it will continue to entangle and attract more marine life, even that which was not initially targeted. So it's literally creating these dead spaces, which is catching and killing wildlife at unprecedented rates. So not only is it a pollution problem, but it's also resulting and killing our oceans at increasing rates.
Okay, so noted what you say then. Congratulations on your find of that underwater paradise. It would be fantastic to see it.